I know you're going to dig this. This is Anthony Mitchell, host of the Endzone Club platform, where, as always, we have conversations wrapped around things we know now, we wish when we were younger. Hey, we got something hot, fresh off the press for you guys today. But before we get into today's content, I would like to just hear a word from our sponsors. So hey, don't touch the dial. We're getting ready to go live. And you're going to hear from my guys over at the Just Gifted brand in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. This is Andre Truitt, representative for Just Gifted Clothing Brand. If you have individual talent of any kind, we are talking to you. Join this clothing brand that has built a community of people that encourages others to use their gifts and talents. Man, we are the fastest growing brand that you haven't heard of yet. To find out what we're really about, just go to justgiftedclothingbrand.com. Let me spell that out for you. JUSGIFTED clothingbrand.com. One more time for you. JUSGIFTED clothingbrand.com. Talent in any way, you're just gifted.
What's up, everybody? This is your host of the Endzone Club podcast, Anthony Mitchell, where we have conversations that are wrapped around things we know now, we wish we knew when we were younger. And I'll tell you, in order for us, as we have found out, to push kids from walking in their potential to actually fulfilling their purposes, we like to keep it real. And I don't want to really have a long episode today. Haven't been with you guys long. So I really just want to check in, let you guys know that I'm okay. Podcast is going well. Just with my daily obligations, I have been really tied up. There has been a lot that has happened that probably over the course of today's very quick episode, we'll just give a refresher. Nothing preaching, nothing in depth, but just kind of get you guys caught up to where we've been and where we are going. With that said, guys, I appreciate you for being faithful listeners and for really just taking the time out to always engage and be a part of what we're doing here at this platform. And again, we're in year 5 of this particular portion. I'm sorry, guys, of this particular portion of life with the podcast. We've had a lot of great guests that have come on from all different sorts of walks of life. We've had former NFL players. We've had athletes. We've had ministers, teachers, leaders, police officers. We've had motivational speakers. We even had even the head of a very popular gaming platform that has been with us. So I promise you, I am very excited about what we've done, but I'm more excited about what we have ahead. And this summer, as you guys know, we always like doing things for the kids. We have an action-packed day planned for June 13th, which we're bringing our free NFL youth football camp back. And we're going to also do a basketball camp later that afternoon, which we have, or I should say evening. But we have one of the Harlem Globetrotters that will be with us. And I'm reaching out. I've got some irons in the fire, which I've reached out to the family. Should I say it? Well, I've reached out to the family of a guy that I know personally who was a lottery pick in the NBA. So you guys already, if you're from Mississippi, you know who he is. But without telling too much, I've reached out to his family, and my prayer is that he decides to come, because I will say now that he is retired, he'll respond to me and everything, but I think he's enjoying the retired life, which is only rightfully so, because those guys in that environment have been under a lot of pressure to perform, a lot of criticism. Like, you don't see just how much time they've had to put in to honing their craft. That just gives them the opportunity to be on that level for as long as they are, or however short it is, but they've made it. So I do value people's time and their all of that good stuff. So we've got that plan. And I'm also, even though it's in the midnight hour, something I've always wanted to do is to extend what we're doing in the community just beyond the realms of sports. And let me be specific, because of course I am and my wife, we're in the community doing more than just sports. But I wanted, specifically with this football camp and us having people that are influential, that have played the game at a high level, and that are also great inspirational, motivational speakers. I wanted to create other platforms while they're here where I can get them with myself in the presence of kids that really need this. And we bring this platform in like a roundtable podcast type atmosphere, but make it more like a show. If you ever been to a sports show or you ever been to a live taping of anything, it's very engaging. It's very well put together, well scripted. But however, when it's done right, there's a lot of great nuggets that can come from that. So I've reached out. It's something I do want to talk about. I want to get it off my chest because I'm a little perplexed. Like in my city, we have this weird tier where it's a weird tier of structure where we operate more from the in crowd and cliques and groups. So if you're not part of a particular, let's say, church affiliation, or you didn't graduate from a certain high school within a certain class, if you're not in a certain economic structure where you guys are part of the same social and economic groups that they all invite each other, their friends or whatever to, or if your kids go to a certain school, if you're not part of the inner circle, we in my city tend to not want to deal with you. And I'm not from the city. So one of the challenges I have consistently had is no matter how good of a platform we have developed, I have to go back the route of guerrilla marketing and really get out and hit the streets, hit the pavement, knock on doors, find some people who I can sell one-on-one that have open doors and these sorts of things. However, a lot of times when you have this kind of structure, and I'm taking this for a reason because many of you that listen to this podcast, you guys are also similar mindsets, meaning you endeavor to make impact wherever your hands touch, wherever your heads lay the pillow. It's there that you dream of making your community better or making your business grow or making your relationships flourish. Sometimes you're going to run into gatekeepers. Sometimes you're going to run into a structure and a settlement that only allows so many people in. And I've had that. So the reason I'm saying this is because I have been pitching a 2-day program this year. I wanted to get maybe into the alternative school system. I wanted to maybe get into the system where we have children that have behavioral issues or that are developmentally challenged, that have issues at home and maybe no outlets of expression. I wanted to get in that environment in the judicial system, especially within the youth courts, the youth villages, all across the board. And I have unsuccessfully for years have reached out. And it baffles my mind that we have gotten so the way we are, that even somebody bringing in free NFL players, people of influence, people that in most traditional walks of life are able to garner attention just on behalf of their accomplishments. We have 2 Super Bowl winners, 3 Super Bowl winning championship teams between the guys that we have. We have guys that are celebrity trainers that train top social media influencers. I would name some names that they work with, and you would be surprised. I've even seen some of the guys I work with on episodes of some reality shows from Atlanta that we see all the time. They're in that same circle. Just the other day, one of the guys that are coming to the camp posted several pictures with him and one of his close friends, Killer Mike. We all know Killer Mike, but I throw that out loosely to let you know just the level of influence that these guys are attached to, and I can't even crack doors. So there comes this reality that when your vision begins to hit a ceiling, sometimes that ceiling is in place because maybe what you have is bigger than the environment that it's able, or it's bigger than the environment that it's currently trying to grow in. I remember growing up as a young boy, my feet were growing faster than the shoes I was wearing. And it just got to a point that I had a pair of Jordans in the 3rd grade. Y'all remember that was the year of the Dream Team. And those Jordans that he had on, Michael Jordan, I had a pair of them. And I was so in love with those shoes that even when my feet had outgrown those shoes. I basically refused to take them off to a point I almost damaged my feet because I didn't want to put it in something bigger. And sometimes your visions are like that. You have to begin to have certain check marks where if what you're doing has got to that point where it needs bigger, do not be afraid of change. Sometimes you got to get your vision in the bigger pastures. You got to step out of the fish tank and get into the pond, from the pond to the lake, from the lake to the ocean. But there has to be career progression. If there's not career progression, there's stagnation. On the other side of stagnation is stillness. On the other side of stillness is death. Death sometimes is metaphysically, it's metaphorically, it's clerical. It's all of the above, but you don't want to have something that has the potential for great movement and great impact, but because you're trying to force it into where you are, you'll start capping what God has given you. So, yes, I have hit a cap here, but I have other opportunities, other cities that are willing to dance, and I'm not that person that's going to stick still in a place of no movement, not moving, and then ultimately becoming unhappy. So I am going to be the first fruit partaker of what I'm talking about. And yes, some of these great ideas that have been incubating in our lives and that we're trying to push, hey, if it doesn't grow here, if they don't embrace the opportunity, I'm just going to go where the water's flowing and they want these seeds to be planted. Now, I will say the city of Memphis has offered several times to host and to do different things with them, and hey, we'll see what happens. But in the meanwhile, that's a change that's in the works. We're going to start expanding even more and looking outside of the city of where I am now to do more things. And then also just got promoted to Master Sergeant in the Air Force. Yay! That's it. That's all I want to say on that. It's a great opportunity, but with promotion comes more responsibility. So I am looking to embrace that. Real quick before I get out of here, I want to share just a quick story. I was in the city of Seattle. We just flew into Seattle, Tacoma. And I noticed flying out of Memphis, there was this guy I kept noticing. So we flew from Memphis to Charlotte, from Charlotte all the way over to Seattle, which was a several hour flight. But there was this particular individual. He's a guy, a big old dude. I'd say he was like 6'5", maybe 6'6", pretty close to 300 pounds. So he stood out to me. Was dressed very simply, very modest. He had on jogging pants, Crocs, hoodie, and a book bag. I mean, nothing overly overbearing, right? But because I kept seeing him, I saw him in Memphis, and I saw him in Charlotte, and I saw him on the airplane, and I saw him in Seattle. We were just kind of going in the same direction, the baggage claim. And something just came over me to speak to the young guy. So I spoke to him and I was like, hey, man, I cracked a joke. I said, but I'm not going to make this awkward for you because I realize you're more than likely an athlete. And he started laughing. Great conversation. He was actually getting ready to go try out for the Seattle Seahawks. And he appreciated my, endeavor not to get him noticed because, of course, it can be very uncomfortable when you get a bunch of random strangers just bombarding you, asking you for things, and you don't know people's intentions. I get that wholeheartedly, but he appreciated. So then he started conversation with me, and he's talking, we're laughing, whatever. And just somewhere in there, I offered him an encouraging word, which kind of hurt my heart because as a San Francisco 49er fan, to see this guy from my area going to try out for the Seattle Seahawks, who were in my division, I wanted him to do well, just not twice a year when they play us, right? So anyway, great conversation. He obviously appreciated the words of encouragement I gave him, which basically, I'm not saying was prophetic, but I went in this vein where I was letting him know he was built for this moment and that he was going to do well, and just things that were coming to me. The inspiration I felt is what I gave to him. And he stopped me there in the middle of the airport, dapped me up, appreciated me for the love, and told me, hey, man, I really needed to hear this. And in that moment, I was grateful just to be in that vein where just something positive I said influenced somebody that's getting ready to go try out for an opportunity that has the potential for changing their life resources for not just themselves, but their family. But anyway, a lot going on. I promise you I will be back sooner. But this is Anthony Mitchell with the Endzone Club. Hey, click the link in the bio where we'll have more information where you can tap in with us and do more. Till next time, be blessed.